And we are underway. Great to have you with us. And the first pitch is low from John Garland. 75 degrees at game time today.
Perfecto.
Patterson lines it over Eck and into right center field. Cut off by Venable, but that's the way the game begins. Corey Patterson has his first hit of the series.
See if Juan Samuel starts a little early action with these birds on the base paths. They're going with the traditional tops today. I like that. That's straight Mark Belanger, Brooks Robinson, Frank Robinson look.
Bobby Grich.
Oh, yeah, I love that.
Third baseman Miguel Tejada first to check on Patterson.
I'm just waiting for an Oriole to come up to the plate with that short bill like Brooks Robinson had. Remember the short abbreviated bill on his batting helmet?
First pitch swinging, and Tejada fouls it out of play right side.
Oh, the two-seam sinker from John Garland should work well today. If he tries to pound the right-handed hitters like Tejada on the inside part of the plate, if he can get that release point down, the left side of the infield will be very busy when the right-handed hitter is up at the plate. Lance Sawatsky should get some action down there at third base.
Fouled back. Hundley coming near the screen, battling the sun, and makes the catch with just enough room to spare for the first down of the game. Looking up into that high sky in the sun had to be an issue for Nick, who's got the eye black going.
Off with the mask, the eye black, and the glove to shade that sun. Yeah, he didn't have much room to spare there. Nice concentration by the Padre catcher.
Up for the Orioles is right fielder Nick Markakis. He's had a good series, going 3 for 7. The average still up over 300. And Patterson, who did steal a base in the 8th inning last night, draws another throw. The Orioles trying to win a series for the first time since mid-May. They won a series at home against the Mariners. They have not won a road series since September of last year, mid-September of 2009. They took a series in the Bronx against the Yankees.
Ouch, babe.
Fouled back.
Not a big lead from Patterson at first base. Remember, we mentioned it earlier in the year, from the first base bag on the foul side where the foul line is, out to that cutout is 17 feet. Gives you an idea of how far out that is when a runner gets his right foot out towards that cutout at first base. Patterson's not even close to that.
Ball outside to Markakis. So if that's 17 feet to the cutout, he's getting about a 10-12 foot lead. So relatively conservative for a guy who's 10 of 11 in steal attempts this year. And a little further this time. Bluffs like he's going, and it's fouled off.
You know what some guys will do? They'll shorten up their lead, especially if they have speed. They'll shorten up their lead a little bit, thinking that the pitcher will look over and say, okay, he doesn't have that big of a lead, so he's going to go on the first move anyway, right? So rather than getting extended out far, far, far and getting that chance of getting picked off, shorten up maybe a half a step, and then you utilize your speed to take that 90 feet.
One on, one out, just underway, and the Orioles first. And back standing up is Patterson. The Orioles come in 19-49 in last place in the AL East, 23 games back. You talk about a competitive division. 3 teams have 42 wins in that division.
Yeah.
Yankees, Rays, and Red Sox all have 42 victories. That just misses.
And you know what? Speaking from the Padres side of the ledger, going into this game, 39-29. How sweet would 40 wins and 29 losses look in the newspaper?
That would look nice heading to Tampa Bay, a team that right now is sharing the best record of the majors with the Yankees. With Boston just a game back, Red Sox have won 5 in a row. We hope they continue their winning ways because they have the Dodgers again later. And Toronto, who we just saw, well, they're 7 games over. They've won 38 games, and they're just 4.5 back in the AL East. I don't think there's any question the AL East is the best division of baseball. Which is the second best? And I would say the NL East and the NL West are the competitors for which division is the second best in baseball right now.
Absolutely. You know, Florida 8.5 out in third place in the East. They're always a team that's always concerns me. They somehow find a way to always inch up there and make it interesting in the East.
It's going to be a tough road trip ahead. Right side, Adrian, it deflects off his glove. Eck able to pick it up and keep it on the infield. So Patterson advances. Markakis an infield hit. And it's 2 on with 1 out.
Well, just as we take a look at this, just off the wrist of Adrian and being left-handed, you can see that Jerry Harrison Jr. was at second base. You see that the play develop here. He's covering on the force. Adrian is so good, he would have thrown from his knees for that force play at second base, but it takes an Oriole bounce.
Baltimore cleanup hitter Ty Wigginton, who's playing second base today. First pitch strike from Garland. Wigginton, the 32-year-old, born and raised here in San Diego, and a 1995 grad of Chula Vista High School. A spin by Garland, chases back Patterson.
Remember, Clayton Richard got caught one looking the other day. Remember that stolen base early in the game? John Garland, very conscious of that runner at second base.
Foul tip on the slider.
Good tilt, good depth to that slider from John Garland. Well, I'm just hoping John gets that feel early in the game to where he can pound that slider down and away for a strike. And this is something you rarely see. He just threw a nasty slider down and away. Now he's asking for a new egg.
That is odd, isn't it?
Yeah, usually, you make a good pitch.
Keep that baseball in there.
Yeah, exactly.
Does that tell the hitter that slider's not coming now?
That's it. You know what? The guessing game is on. Flip a coin, huh? What do you guess now as a hitter?
Well, he buries it in the dirt, and he did bring another slider.
And the ball in the dirt, of course, you got to change that ball out. Overrated. How about the ball that scalded to the shortstop, one hopper? That ball stays in the game. Off the bat, off the dirt, and then they keep it in the game. But you throw a breaking ball in the dirt to the plate, ooh, got to change it out.
Does the home plate umpire just feel compelled to do that?
I think
another one in the dirt, blocked well by Nick. Now the lead runner, Patterson, read it well. He was almost halfway to third, but scampered back without a play. From 0-2 to 2-2 on Wigginton.
It's just becoming ingrained into the head of catchers and umpires alike. Ball in the dirt, got to throw it out.
Check. Appeal. He went. First base umpire Jerry Crawford says he did go on that changeup. First strikeout for Garland, 2 outs.
A great sequence of pitches from John Garland. He went sliders away. He missed with 2 in the dirt, and then Ty Wigginton cannot hold back. Does he go? Absolutely. If he hits it, it's a double. Good pitch. Good arm action from Garland.
Here's left-handed hitting Luke Scott, who had a very good night last night with 3 hits. He drove in one of the 5 Baltimore runs. Upped his average up 10 points from 270 to 280. 2 on, 2 outs in the Orioles' first. Off the outside corner, John Garland trying to navigate his first inning. Really the knock on Garland, you look at his recent starts, and really almost all of his starts this season. When he's had problems, it's really been the early innings.
Yep. Like I mentioned earlier against Toronto, it was that second inning. A couple of doubles, a single, a home run, a walk.
Well, the shortstop, Jerry Hairston, had come in behind the runner at second, so big hole on the left side with the pitch down to the dirt anyway. 2 balls, no strikes. Scott has 10 home runs. Out in front. Another good changeup from John Garland.
Hey, John Garland might find that changeup might be the pitch du jour. He's got the good slider, 2-seamer, and even the hanging changeup you can get away with because it takes so much off, and Scott way out in front of it. Love the changeup.
The 2-1 pitch to Luke Scott. This is high with the 90-mile-per-hour fastball. Game leadoff base hit by Patterson after Tejada fouled out. Markakis an infield hit off the glove of Adrian Wigington Fan. Garland's next pitch will be his 20th of this first inning. Scott waves and misses.
Hey, that's a fastball count, 3-1.
Challenged him.
90-mile-an-hour fastball. Outer half, a very crushable pitch, and Scott cannot catch up.
I think he swung under it.
Yeah. Majority of times, did you know that? Majority of times hitters will swing under the pitch.
Really?
Yep.
Documented that?
The barrel of the bat travels under the ball, except on a breaking ball. Fastballs are usually underneath.
I was going to say, a lot of breaking balls are going to cause him to swing over the top.
Yep.
Full count, 2 outs. The runners will be off. In the dirt. And it skips past Hundley, but the runners will advance 90 feet thanks to the walk, and the bases are loaded. Well, a big spot is Adam Jones, who has the only home run of this series. And it was the key hit last night, a 2-run shot into the upper deck and left.
Remember what that pitch was?
Slider.
Off-speed pitch in the zone. You're right, a slider.
It's interesting to see Clayton Richard. He kind of called it a slider cutter, like he almost was a hybrid pitch.
Yeah.
Didn't really do what he wanted
That's
it to do.
That's a good word, hybrid, a little in between. Nice.
Strike one. Adam Jones talked after the game and said, yeah, it was fun for him last night, being a hometown kid here from San Diego, a bunch of family and friends here. He said, yeah, I don't think many of them. My brother had never seen me hit a home run like that. So it was quite a homecoming for Jones. Unfortunately, it came at the expense of the Padres. He takes a big rip at the heater there, and it's 0-2. Bases loaded, 2 outs. 0-2 to Adam Jones. And instead, Garland steps off, and Hundley will go out to the mound. Well, the home run last night for Adam Jones was his 9th. And it's our Coors Light Cold Hard Blast. The world's most refreshing beer, Coors Light and Upper Tank. And it proved to be just enough for the Orioles in their 5-4 win. Just their 8th road win of the season. 8-28.
Oh, nice block. Thank you very much, Nick Hundley. John Garland thanks you as well as he buries that breaking ball in the dirt.
Well, did that recent conversation was Nick saying, hey, Barry, I'm there for you, man.
Absolutely. And catchers have to have that mentality, and pitchers have to have the confidence of throwing it there right in the center of the chest. Nice technique by Nick. There you go, soft away, breaking ball. You with the slider down and away or fastball in. John's been trying to dot that fastball away.
Ground ball to third. Zawatsky takes his time, fires, safe. Took too much time and a run scores.
Was he caught in between? Wanting to maybe go second the short way and then maybe thought,
I think he just had trouble in the glove, getting a handle on it. An error charge to Zawatsky. He gets it in the mitt. Had it in the hand.
Yeah.
Was he trying to change the grip or something on there?
Hard to tell because his hand's in the glove. Hands in the glove, pump, and then, I don't know. Double crow hop and works underneath it, and E5.
Just when it looked like Garland was going to get out of the inning unhurt, a run is across, unearned, and the inning continues for Matt Wieters.
Well, that's the way this game started yesterday, although it was off the bat of Julio Lugo in the first batter of the game, E6, that throwing error.
And the Orioles got an unearned run in the first last night, as you're alluding to, and it proved to be a big run. It was the deciding factor.
Yeah.
So the work continues for Garland.
That's the thing I always look at. On an error like that, it just, hopefully the pitcher can throw 1 or 2 pitches to get out of it rather than throwing another 8 or 10.
And you hope the whole inning doesn't blow up here.
Yeah.
Wieters, the 7th man to bat in the inning. He sends a high fly left center field, and this is big trouble. A one-hopper up against the fence, and it's going to clear the bases, most likely. Throw home, the trailing runner safe. Jones scores. 3-run double for Matt Wieters, and it is 4-0. First hit of the series for Matt Wieters.
Slider that's left on the inner part of the plate, and anytime you do that to any hitter, John Garland should be out of the inning. We know that. But John knows also you have to make good pitches. That was one that was up there. Wieters stayed inside of it nice. That was a breaking ball. Usually, generally, lefties will try to pull that ball. Tough break for John.
Ball 1 to Cesar Izturis. Switch hitting Izturis at .223 on the season. .254 right-handed, .207 from this side of the plate left-handed. Matt Wieters, 8th double of the season. Ups his RBI total to 21 on the year. And now you have Garland over 30 pitches here in the first inning. Popped up, and Eck, with the glasses on, makes the catch, but 8 men come to the plate, and the O's get 4 runs, all unearned, and the Padres coming up in the bottom half. This SAP telecast is brought to you by Carl's Jr. Get more fruit in your diet with the Hawaiian Teriyaki Chicken Sandwich. Into the bottom of the first inning. Check out the Pods lineup. Brought to you by Alpine Rock and Block. Start your next backyard project with Alpine Rock and Block. Gwynn, then Eck. Adrian comes in with an 8-game hitting streak. Hundley hitting cleanup. Hairston, Scott Hairston, that is. Venable, Jerry batting 7th, and Zawatsky and Garland. And our starting pitching profile brought to you by the all-new Cadillac SRX. The Cadillac, a crossover, is making just his 3rd major league start. Jake Arrieta.
Well, this guy's got some tremendous upside, Jake Arrieta. He throws a fastball, slider, a curveball, and a change. But a big frame on this kid. 24-year-old, 6'4", 220. Signed as a professional back in 2007. Played for the Phoenix Desert Dogs in the Arizona Fall League. So this guy's getting thrown in there, huh? See what you got. And why not with the way the Orioles are going? These young kids. See, I've got a philosophy on that, and I'll share after this pitch. You know, there are certain organizations when you have certain young talent, I feel, even though it's been a rough year for Baltimore, if you're going to tell these kids you're going to get the ball every 5th day, regardless of how you do, that's how you learn. That's how Smoltz learned. That's how Glavine learned. That's how Neil Heaton learned. That's how Charles Nagy learned with the Indians.
Strike call, 0-2.
None of this up and down stuff. Now, with a first-place club, I could see that because they want to be consistent throughout the year. But if they're going to say, hey, Jake, you're getting the ball once every 5th day, regardless of, don't worry about, getting knocked around. If it doesn't hurt your confidence, just go and know you're going to get the ball every 5th day. I have no problem with that.
Arrieta with the high fastball. Well, Arrieta has pitched very well in his first 2 big league starts. Beat the Yankees on June 10th, 6 innings, 3 runs, 4 hits with 6 strikeouts. Then he beat the Giants in San Francisco in his last start on the 15th, went 7, allowed just 1 run, 3 hits. Gave up a solo home run to Pablo Sandoval for the only run of that game. Two-hit game last night for Tony. Had a big double in the 9th. And loops that over the shortstop is Turrison into left field. So that's 3 consecutive hits in this series for Tony Gwynn.
Well, that's how it all starts. You get Arrieta into the stretch. Little sinking fastball down away just out of the reach of Izturis. It can happen quickly.
Eck enters today with a 5-game hitting streak. There goes Tony. The pitch is strike. The throw from his knees. Wieters can't get him. Izturis kept the tag on, hoping Gwynn would come off the bag. He did not, and he has his 10th steal.
Pretty good jump from Tony, and Wieters trying to do his best Benito Santiago impersonation, throwing from his knees. Not too many guys can do that. And Tony Gwynn with that stolen base. That's another King Stallin stolen base. Thank you very much.
Egg squares. Strike call, 0-2.
I thought that pitch was down. No, you know what? Looking at it, I was watching Eck go across the plate with the fake bunt. Pretty good pitch from Arrieta. Is there a great article on Eck this morning in the UT?
Very good.
About how his coach in high school said, you've got to learn how to hit with 2 strikes.
Don't be scared to hit with 2 strikes.
Exactly. And now Eck takes it as a challenge, and he feels very comfortable being in the hole 0-2. So he's got him right where he wants him.
Eck in this series against the Orioles, 3 out of 10 with an RBI. The RBI came in the 9th inning here Friday night. And at that point, tied the game at 2. And eventually, 2 batters later, Adrian won it. Another 0-2 pitch. Puts it in play and will advance the runner. Wigginton throws him out. So a productive out for Eck. It's the Baltimore defense brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. Patterson, Jones, and Markakis play the outfield. Tejada is Turris, Wigginton, and Scott on the infield, and Wieters is the catcher. Adrian bats with a runner at third and 1 out. 4-0 Orioles. 4 unearned in the top of the first for Baltimore. First pitch hacking at the high, tight heat.
I think sometimes hitters go to the plate. They tell themselves, I'm going to swing at the first pitch. Try to ambush him, sneak up on him, and wherever it is, I'm just going to hack at it. Remember Jack Clark used to do that, the Ripper. It could be a slider 3 feet in front of home plate. He's hacking. You take that chance.
Left center field. Corey Patterson sees it bounce once to the base of the fence. Coming in is Gwynn, and Adrian is at second. San Diego on the board, 4-1. Adrian going the other way for his 14th 2-base hit. Padres answering here, at least starting to respond in the bottom of the first.
Did you ever notice that the really good hitters in baseball throughout the history of this great game, they can look sick on one pitch, and then the next pitch just turn it around and work it into a masterpiece. Fastball up and in, not a good swing from Adrian. Arrieta tries to throw a breaking ball, and Adrian spanks that ball to the left center field gap, scoring Tony Gwynn.
But you have to have kind of a short memory, like, look bad on that last pitch. Sure. Let's go at it here. Yeah. Only batting in the cleanup spot today. Going after the first pitch, pops it up. Arrieta and the catcher Wieters, and it's Wieters in foul territory. 2 away. I think Nick may have gone up with the same thought process you mentioned just a minute ago.
It seemed like that was one of those pitches that was just up enough for him to get under it. And a lot of hitters probably go back to the dugout and say, gosh, maybe should have thought that out a little bit more, maybe taken that pitch.
Scott Hairston. Breaking ball maybe a little bit low. Right down central with the fastball at 92. Scott in the series, 1 out of 8. He got a first inning single last night. Foul on the first base side. Scott makes the catch and flips into the camera well. First base umpire Jerry Crawford says he hung on. So Scott makes the play despite a detour into the well. He flips and hangs on. Padres do get 1 back in the bottom of the first. Inning the bottom of the first. Luke Scott does the flip into the camera well and apparently hung on. He could have been doing a crossword puzzle down there for a while. We really don't know. But according to Jerry Crawford, he hung on to the baseball and saved himself and ended the inning.
Hey, we've seen some guys go into that camera well, and that's
treacherous.
That's potential for getting hurt. I remember one year we saw JT Snow go in there and do a face plant on that camera down there.
Pitcher Jake Arrieta had 3 at-bats up in San Francisco in his last start, so not his first major league at-bat. And it's 3-0. There's a strike. And it runs full.
Just pounded with the 2-seam sinker. He's got good movement on that sinker. He's just got to erase that first inning. So tough to do. It's so hard to do. And nobody feels worse than Lance Sawatsky. I mean, let's face it. A young player like that, when you got a veteran pitcher on the mound and you throw one away, you don't make the play. Sure, it stinks. You feel like digging a hole and crawling inside.
Another foul ball. Arrieta, then Patterson and Tejada near the Baltimore second. Did he? Nope. And that is a walk to the pitcher. Well, he fell behind 3-0. Was able to get back and work it full, but he walks his second hitter of the game. Top of the order, and left fielder Corey Patterson, who began the game with a base hit to right center.
You know, runs are runs, earned, unearned, you know, but it always seems pitchers, it might be one pitch that is the difference in giving up 1 run as opposed to 4 runs. And whether it's an earned run or unearned run is my point. But John Garland.
Foul pass first.
8 runs this year, 8 runs in the first inning, 7 in the second, 14 in the third. You know, if there's that one pitch maybe that can make a big difference to bring those numbers down, you know. John's trying to pound the strike zone low with the slider, with the sinker. But big league hitters, you know, a lot of the times you make one mistake. Sometimes you'll get away with it and sometimes you won't.
That's the fastball inside. And you look at the numbers, and no doubt most of Garland's problems have come early in the game. Patterson lines it into right. Now to second goes Arrieta. And the first 2 are on in the Baltimore seconds. Well, our comparison is brought to you by the San Diego County Toyota dealers. And just look at the first 3 innings for Garland. An ERA over 4 and opponents hitting over 300 against him. Once he can get past the 3rd inning, things improve dramatically for Garland.
Maybe that's getting a feel for the release point, getting a feel for the slider, getting a feel for the 2-seamer. But walking the pitcher, it obviously doesn't help. Easier said than done. It's like shooting a free throw. How can you miss a free throw? It's a free shot. Right?
You're right, Shaq.
You're right. It's easier said than done.
In the dirt to Tejada. Now the pitch count mounting up near 40 for Garland. In fact, up over 40 already. Misses off the outside corner. Two on, nobody out in the Baltimore second. The Orioles leading by 3. 2-0 to Tejada. To third. Zawatsky gets up, steps on, throw across in the dirt. Dug out by Adrian. Nice play on both sides there. A 5-3 twin killing.
Good for Lance. Good play. Well, after the miscue in the first inning, this is a hot smash. Keeps it in front of him. And then one swift move. Steps on the bag and throws. And credit the Gold Glover over first base for picking him up as well. Nicely done. That's not an easy pick over first base.
No, it's not. But he makes it look so easy.
Exactly.
Padres turn their 58th double play of the season. Let's see if that's the play that can help turn things around. Start to stabilize things for Garland. The runner at second. Big curveball to Markakis. Strike one. Markakis singled off the glove of a diving Adrian Gonzalez in the first and later scored. Lone runner now is Patterson at second, so good speed on the bases. Though Patterson has already been thrown out trying to score from second on a hit to the outfield in this series by Tony Gwynn. Strike two. That was last night in the 8th inning. When Tony threw out Patterson at the plate. The ball to Markakis. The name Markakis is of Greek origin. In fact, Markakis played for the Greek Olympic baseball team during the 2004 Olympic Games at Athens. He was still actually in A-ball at the time in the Orioles minor league system.
Baklava sounds good right now, doesn't it? Some good stuff.
I think any food from any nationality for you, you're pretty much up for it any time of day or night.
I'm in.
Correct. Markakis now into his 5th big league season. He was the O's first-round pick, 7th overall selection in 2003. Gets jammed and rolls it right to Eck. Didn't have to move. Down on 1D, gets up and throws him out. Well, the inning started with 2 on, nobody out. Garland gets out of it. 6, 7, and 8 part of the order coming up for the Padres. Ballpark Saturday, July 3rd, as your Padres battle the Houston Astros at 5:35, and the first 25,000 fans take home a great Padres beach towel presented by San Diego County Toyota dealers. Hurry and get your tickets today at Padres.com. We look towards Point Loma on this Sunday afternoon. The Orioles, though, with 4 unearned in the first, lead at 4-1, and the Padres bat in the second. Venable, Jerry Hairston, and Zawatsky do up, the 6, 7, and 8 batters. Outside corner missing.
What do you have planned for Father's Day, Dad, after the game?
Just a little dinner and hanging out with the family. I think that's what Father's Day calls for. Yourself?
Same thing. We've got Mom and Dad in town, so not too many times get to have Father's Day with my dad.
Kid from Joliet?
Yeah, Larry's in the house. Best catcher I ever threw to.
High strike, 3-1.
I love my dad. He's the best.
You know, it's interesting to watch the evolution of relationships with your father as you get older.
Right.
When you get to the point when you can really become friends.
Oh, yeah.
Working on that bottle.
Hey. Are those Orioles in disguise? Scouts?
3-2 pitch to Venable. And he works the leadoff walk. First one given up by Arrieta. Now, you talked about the Orioles uniform that's reminding you of the old days. You remember the old Orioles cap that had the face of the Oriole bird with the bird wearing the cap?
Yeah, the cartoon.
Yeah.
I love that hat.
Great,
absolutely.
Great.
That's a hot one. Make sure you wear your sunscreen and protect that lid with some type of hat.
Bring the glove. It's glove day today.
That's right.
For the kids.
They get to play catch on the field after the game, right?
Yep. After the game, onto the field, get to play catch. So, dads, sons, make a memory out on the field after the game. Close play, but Will diving back in.
Here's the hat we're talking about with the white panel, and that's Old Comiskey Park in Chicago.
And you can tell the outfield there.
Yeah,
that's left field. You know, people there could picnic. You see where there were tables back there behind the chicken wire.
That's the old logo with the real bird back in the old days when Baltimore first came into the. And a lot of people don't realize the New York Yankees were a team that moved from Baltimore to New York.
Early 1900s, yeah. The New
Highlanders.
York Yankees, then the Highlanders, but before that, they were in Baltimore.
Right.
And they moved to New York, 1903? The Baltimore went without Major League Baseball until the St. Louis Browns.
Right.
Moved to Baltimore in 1954, and that's this franchise right here. St. Louis Browns. Now there's a franchise
Satchel
that
Paige.
did their share of losing.
I think of St. Louis Browns, I think of Satchel Paige.
Browns only went to one World Series. That was in '44 against the Cardinals. After they moved to Baltimore in '54, it took them until 1960 before the Orioles had their first winning season, but won a World Series by '66 when they beat the Dodgers. In fact, what a pitching series that was. There goes Venable. Strike call. Good throw. Safe.
Nice.
Close play. But Venable steals his 13th base.
Well, the abbreviated leg kick, but still, Will Venable gets a good pitch to run on, a decent jump, and the swipe tag not in time. How close was it? Will gets his foot in, and the foot is on the bag. And that's another King Stallman stolen base for Will Venable. It's good to be king.
1-1 pitch to Jerry. Off the outside corner. You talk about winning with pitching.
Yeah.
Which obviously is really the MO for the Padres. When the Orioles won their first World Series in '66 and beat the Dodgers scored 2 runs in the entire series, which was a 4-game sweep. And the 2 runs they scored all came in Game 1. They got shut out the last few years.
Wow. That's some serious pitching.
Hot shot off Scott down the right field line. Venable coming home. The throw's going to second. It's high, but brought down by his tourist. And Jerry Hairston with an RBI double. What was a 4-run deficit has been cut in half.
Now, one of the things that sticks out about this Padre team is the ability to take the ball the other way. Jerry Hairston, remember the ball up around his hat the other night? He stayed on top of it, singled to right. That pitch down, out of the zone, and the hot smash off of Scott. That's going to be ruled an error, E3. So the force is not with Luke at first base.
Correct, Vader. And so no RBI, no double. Nonetheless, Padres do get a run to make it 4-2. That's in the dirt and scooped out by Wieters. Switch hitting Lance Sawatsky. Fouled away. This is the day of all days when you want to break out the Luke, I am your father line, right?
That's a good call on Father's Day, yeah. Hey, you thinking about a gift for dear old dad out there? Dick Enberg's book, Oh My. It's on sale at Warwick's in La Jolla. Be a nice Father's Day gift, huh?
Absolutely. That's up high. Two balls and a strike on Lance Sawatsky.
I remember my first game at a big league game with my dad, Wrigley Field. New York Mets, Chicago Cubs.
What else do you remember about it?
I remember, seriously, watching games on GN and then finally going there and walking up that tunnel. I can still see it, seeing the ivy on the wall and that basket and thinking, that's what I see on TV all the time.
But did the grass seem greener than the greenest
that
you've
because
ever
we
seen
had
in
black
your life?
and white TV.
Yeah.
We still don't have a color TV in our house.
I remember when you used to get the TV guide
my
every
mom
week.
and dad at their house, they still got the phone where you spin the dial.
Do they still quote phone numbers like Underhill 9547?
They have to call Sarah and say, hey, connect me with the Food Mart.
That's high ball 4, and Zawatsky walks. Second walk of the inning, and the Padres tying run to the plate. It will be the pitcher, John Garland.
All right, so difficulty throwing strikes for Arrieta.
Tying runs on base for Garland.
Well, the beauty about this situation with nobody out, John Garland, hey, get it early, get it done early. Arrieta, everybody in the ballpark knows that John Garland's going to sacrifice him over. Get it down, third base line, draw on that third baseman. I thought, from our vantage point, that ball straight up and thought it was going to be in play. So luckily for John Garland, it goes into the stands.
Garland has 3 sacrifice bunts so far this season. Somehow got it down. Tejada throws him out. Now that was well done by John Garland. That ball about ate him up, but he somehow was able to get it down and advance the runners.
Well, I'm just glad that ball didn't come up on him and maybe hit him somewhere and maybe hit him in the fingers. As we take a look at it, his fingers are wrapped around the ball, and you know what? That ball is clearly away from his right hand. Ball looked like it kind of rode up on him a little bit.
But you're right, that right hand, he's got the fingers around the bat. That's dangerous.
Yeah.
Garland.
I think by his reaction, I mean, it looked worse than it really was on the replay. You know, at first it looked like that ball was right on top of that hand, maybe close to the fingers.
He and Bud chat in the dugout. 2 on, 1 out. Top of the order. Arrieta from the wind. Sails outside. Tony singled to left center in the first, stole a base and scored. Tony to left in the air. Patterson makes the catch, tagging Hairston. Here comes the throw to the plate. The tag put down, and he is out. One hop throw by Corey Patterson, and a double play ends the inning. Padres taking a chance with 2 outs, sending Hairston, and Corey Patterson making the one hop throw, and it's a 2-run game. They take Sunday, July 4th at 1:05. The first 10,000 kids 14 and younger take home a brand new Padres t-shirt presented by Cox Channel 4 San Diego. Get your tickets today by calling 619-795-5555 or go to Padres.com. Top of the third, the cleanup hitter for Baltimore, Ty Wigginton, leading off. Breaking ball, strike one. The leadoff hitter has reached in every inning for both teams so far. O's getting the double play on the throw out of Hairston. Jerry Hairston at the plate to win the Padres' second. Not only a good throw by the left fielder Patterson, but Wieters, the catcher, to grab that one-hop throw and put the tag on was also a good play.
I think that whole play revolves around the play of Wieters. That wasn't one of those that was bouncing like 20 feet out in front of you so you get a good angle. That was a short hopper. And as you mentioned, up and down with the tag.
Wigginton out looking. He strikes out for the second time. Both of Garland's strikeouts at the expense of Wigginton.
And here's that play we're talking about. Patterson catches. Now watch where the throw bounces. That's right near the lip, and Wieters does a fine job. Great concentration on the Orioles catcher. His part. Nice play.
Yeah, to corral that, he's got to bring the glove up tight to his body and high near his shoulder, and then bring the tag down. By the way, the Padre run in the second unearned due to the Luke Scott error, and here is Scott who walked and scored in the first.
Hey, this is a big inning for John Garland. Remember, we talked about those numbers.
If he can get past the third, usually that's when he settles in and
it's just
things go his way.
It's just too bad that the pitch count is now at 56. Change up, nice.
Down and into Scott. Four runs in the first for the Orioles, all unearned. The Padres one in the first and one in the second. So playing from behind. Really trying to keep it right where it is. It steps off for a moment. Jammed him and fouled away left side, giving chase Zawatsky, but it's several rows back. Yeah, nice catch.
And he's going to give it to somebody with a kid. Oh, yeah. That was a nice gesture. Nicely done.
Two balls, two strikes. Back a few steps to his right. Two down in the Orioles' third. Duty, honor, education. Ashford University supports our military. Military Sunday, also Father's Day here at Petco Park.
And we salute them as well.
Absolutely. Military appreciation. He's got it going with the hat and the suspenders, too.
Yeah.
Adam Jones rolls it up the first base line. Adrian takes it himself. Garland has his first 3 up, 3 down inning. A look at the midway. Part of the order is coming up for the Padres in the bottom of the third. By the 9 Honda dealers of San Diego County. Stop by and check out the latest offers on a brand new Honda Accord. And Cox high-speed internet. Ready for higher speed? Go to Cox.com.
Beautiful Father's Day Sunday at Petco Park. And while I've got a second, wish a happy birthday 100 years young. Laura Williams, lifelong Padre fan. 100 years young today.
Happy
Laura.
Birthday at the century mark.
Yeah, happy birthday, Laura. She turns 100 tomorrow. Awesome.
Eck lays off. Eck, Adrian, and Hundley 2, 3, and 4 in the San Diego third. A 4-2 Orioles lead thanks to 4 unearned in the Baltimore first. Hot shot, fair past third. Towards the left field corner. Eck chugging for second. Patterson having to chase it. Eck taking a turn, a wide turn, but slams on the brakes back to second. It is a leadoff double. '18th two-base hit for David Eckstein, and Patterson had to wait for that ball to make the route around the corner.
And it looks like Arrieta tried to come inside with the fastball and just inside the bag at third, and the play's right in front of Eck. Aggressive turnaround second base, and enough time he realizes there's a trailer. First baseman Scott trailing. Got a little captain in you? Yeah, can I tell a story?
Please do.
In the clubhouse today, before the game, I went down. Eck walks by me, and I just looked at him and said, "You got a little captain in you?" You know what he did? He put the 1 foot up with the hands on the hips.
He did the look.
He gave me the captain look.
Marketing at its best. Eck now with 4 hits in the series. Giving himself a 6-game hitting streak with that double. Adrian, who double driving in a run in the first, now has a 9-game streak thanks to his 2-base hit. One hopper, and behind the bag Scott, and will advance Eck to third. I was wondering if Adrian was going to see anything to hit this at bat.
I was thinking the same thing.
And 2-0 pulled it up the first base line. Hundley, good numbers with runners in scoring position. About 40 some odd points higher than his season average of 279. Swung at the first pitch he saw in the first inning and fouled out to the catcher, Wieters. They don't ask for the appeal because the plate umpire, Phil Cuzzy, says he did go. Arrieta pitching out of the full wind with Eck at third and 1 out. And a foul ball over top the O's dugout. It's 0-2.
Oh, there's Heath Bell's dad, Jim. And the Padres did a great thing on the first pitch today. There was Tony Gwynn Sr., Jim Bell, the father of Heath, Joe Thatcher's dad, Luke Gregerson's dad. And please forgive me for getting do you have the list?
Oh, we've got them all.
Oh, okay.
We want to honor them all. It's off the outside corner.
They all threw out the first pitch to their sons.
And great to see Jim Bell.
Yeah.
Who's made the trip from Texas. There's Jim. Well, how great would it be to see Heath come out of the pen today and get a save with his dad in attendance here at Petco.
Yeah, remember we saw his mom and dad in Houston, I think it was. Remember when Heath got the save there in Houston?
Yep. And Jim here along with several other Padre fathers. Nick delivers with a base hit to left, and it's a 1-run game. Great 2-strike hitting by Hundley. Scores Eck. It's 4-3.
After that first at-bat in the first inning, remember Nick fouled out to the catcher on the first pitch thrown. He's patient here. 2 strikes. He gets an Arrieta sinker down and in and drops the head. A good-looking swing by the Padre catcher. Very nice. All started with the leadoff double by Eck.
One on, one out. Scotty Hairston, the left fielder. It's on the outer half for strike 1. Scott kind of shaking his head there like he disagreed with that call. Fouled out to the first baseman Scott in the first inning. Arrieta staying away and misses off the plate.
Being very careful here with Scott Hairston. 2 pitches away. Remember, Scotty likes to turn on that fastball now. See if he tries to sneak a little two-seamer on the inside part of the plate here.
Jake Arrieta in his 3rd major league start for the Orioles. Guy who pitched collegiately in the Mountain West at TCU.
Horned Frogs.
Change up. Arrieta's alma mater making some hay already in Omaha. College World Series. Their first ever trip there. Arrieta at 50 pitches. With 2 1/3. So the pitch count is mounting. Really on both sides.
You really see the arm angle of Arrieta drop on that last changeup. He didn't stay on top of it like he did the previous pitch. Elbow dropped, kind of worked under it a little bit.
Arrieta's trying to become the first Orioles starter in their team history to win his first 3 outings. Ben McDonald did win his first 5 starts, but did make his first 12 major league appearances in relief. So a bit of a distinction there. 3-2 on Scotty. You start Nick here?
Why not?
Long look. There he goes. And a walk to Scott Hairston. Well, those first pitches for Father's Day just prior to the game. 6 of them. There were Jim Bell. There's Kim Headley. There's Jim Bell. Thatcher's dad, that's Phil Thatcher. Duke Gregerson. David Gonzalez. And oh yeah, Tony Gwynn was around. Senior, that is, by the way. So the 6 of them participating in the first pitch ceremonies with their Padres sons. That was cool.
Absolutely. Well, Rick Kranitz out to have a visit with Arrieta. Padres doing a fine job here, putting up a picket fence on that line score. 1 in the first, 1 in the second, and 1 in the third.
How about some crooked numbers?
Yeah. Trying to add on here in the third.
At 4 in the top of the first for the Orioles. All unearned. 3 of them came on a Matt Wieters base clearing double. 2 on. Hundley and Scott Hairston, 1 out in the San Diego third. Will hits it high down the right field side near the line, and it is fair, and it is out of here. A 3-run shot for Venable, his 5th of the season, puts the Padres in front. Venable clearing the short porch and right. His 21st, 22nd, and 23rd RBIs, and San Diego has come from 4 down to take a 2-run lead.
First pitch from Arrieta. It looks like a high changeup. Belt buckle high. Will gets extended into the porch. And you know what? After having a day like he did yesterday, he struck out his last 2 at-bats. Very frustrating for Will. Way to pick up the team with that 3-run shot.
Hit to third, snagged by Tejada, who makes a good play and throws out Jerry for the second out. Well, you were talking last night about Venable, just a slight adjustment in the stance, a little bit more hunched over.
A little bit more athletic, if that makes sense, rather than being a little bit, more erect at the plate. Trying to utilize that body and that frame of his. That's exactly what Randy Reddy, the hitting coach, that's the way Randy put it.
Zawatsky hits it past the mound, but his Turris cheating up the middle throws him out by a step to win the inning. But the Padres really get the big hit in many ways that they have missed in this series. 3-run blast for Venable. They score 4 in the third and now lead it by a deuce. Brought to you by Irving Hughes. Life is a lease. Negotiate well. Great look at the Big Bay and back inside Petco Park. Will Venable's 5th home run of the year. A 3-run blast capping off a 4-run third. And the Padres down early 4-0. Now leading 6-4 as we go to the top of the 4th inning. And John Garland to face the bottom 3 in the Orioles order.
Seems like things have reversed, as far as the starting pitchers are concerned. Garland, a lot of pitches early. Arrieta kind of cruising. But you know what? That one in the first and one in the second, that still plays huge against a team that is struggling right now, like the Orioles, chipping away. And Will Venable, it goes without saying, he needed that. Not only obviously for the team, but for him personally.
Matt Wieters had the big base clearing double in the first. That capped off the 4-run Oriole first. Batting for a second time. Yeah, it really has an interesting game to this point. You have the top of the first, and then there's really the rest of the game. Garland showing his veteran makeup to hang in there and battle through his pitch count getting up there, at least relatively speaking for this time of the game.
Well, here's the deal. John Garland has thrown as many as 117 pitches this year. That was back against the Dodgers at Dodger Stadium, May 19th.
Left field, Scott Hairston in the corner, curling near the track. On the edge of it, makes the catch. Wieters going the other way again, right along the line, but run down, and that's 6 in a row retired by Garland.
So if John can have some quick innings here in the 4th as we take a look at the breakdown.
Well, keep in mind, 30 plus of those pitches came in the first.
Right. He could take him into the 7th inning.
we've talked about makeup when Rich Hill was in here the first night, talking about his former college pitcher Brian Mannix pitching for the Orioles, and we could talk about makeup for a pitcher. You got a rookie, Arrieta, going for the Orioles, and for Garland, and so much of this game, in many ways, kind of forgetting what's happened. You know, if something bad happens, you got to pick up, carry on.
Absolutely, and it's so hard to do sometimes. We all know that, and whatever our walk of life is. You mess up, you make a mistake. It's hard to erase that from the hard drive and carry on and keep going. But how many times have we seen, especially in sports, things can happen so rapidly and so quickly in a heartbeat. I mean, look at Lance Sawatsky.
Tough error in the first, but he's come back, made a good defensive play.
Yep.
Worked an important walk in the second that helped lead to a run.
I've always been a firm believer, as quickly things can turn sour, they can turn sweet. Not much quicker.
What was your makeup as a young player?
You know what, I was...
Check. Asking for the appeal. He went, says Scott Berry. That's a strikeout of his tourists. And they're going to bat for Arrieta here with Lou Montañez.
I was my own worst enemy, and that was a negative, I thought, because having success early on, and then when you have a little adversity, you don't know how to take it. You know, I'd be kicking the rosin bag, be kicking the dirt, and then all of a sudden things blow up.
Takes a while to learn that maturity.
Yeah, and you know what? The perfect example of somebody who I think is the epitome of handling themselves was Trevor Hoffman. That guy,
ideal makeup for a closer.
But whether he saved a game or blew a game, you'd see him walk off the mound and sit on the bench. You wouldn't know whether he blew a save or saved a game. He was always the same. Is always the same after, no matter the result.
True pro.
Uh-huh.
But at some point, did you learn that composure to comprise a good makeup? What you needed?
A few years in the big leagues, and being around people like Rich Gossage.
On the ground at third, Zawatsky spins, good play, throws him out. Now when we talk about Mark Grant's makeup, we're referring to that small bottle of Revlon that he has in his European carry-all.
I'm a Lancome guy.
The San Diego Imperial County Red Cross chapter and its services to Armed Forces program. For more information, visit sdarc.org. Orioles go to the bullpen. Bring out the big left-hander, Mark Hendrickson.
Mark Hendrickson's been around a while. See his numbers from this year. Hitters well over 300 at 331. A fastball, curve, cutter, and a change from the lefty.
Marlin leading off, and he looks at strike one. Marlin, who laid down the sac bunt in his first plate appearance. No official at bat as of yet. Bounces it to second. Wigginton. One out. So Arrieta, the starter for the Orioles in his third big league start after winning his first two. Those just 3 innings today. 6 runs, 5 earned, 5 hits. Wound up walking 3 and did not record a strikeout. Top of the order, and Tony Gwynn. He singled to left center, stole a base, and scored in the first. And in the second, flying to left. That left-hander Mark Hendrickson looks like he's taking up a disproportionate amount of your television screen. He is 6 feet 9 inches tall. And spent time in the NBA in the last part of the 90s. Playing for 4 different teams in the National Basketball Association before getting into Major League Baseball. Actually did both pro baseball and the minor leagues in the NBA. He made his Major League debut with the Blue Jays in 2002. Was traded over to Tampa Bay. Spent a little time with the Dodgers, with the Marlins in 2008. Now in his second season with the Orioles.
You know, we talk about multi-sport star athletes. Hands down for me, Bo Jackson. Unbelievable.
Probably, in fact, I got to say hands down, the best athlete I've ever seen play in person.
Did you see him in college?
Never saw him in college. Just saw him in Major League Baseball with the Royals. Talking as a baseball player. Had he not had the hip injury and just concentrated on baseball, it would have been interesting to see what he would have done as a baseball player.
Sure.
3-2 pitch. Out of play left side.
And of course, Deion Sanders, totally different type of guy.
Totally different type of athlete.
Right.
You know, more of a speed. You know, Bo certainly didn't have the pure straight line speed of a Deion Sanders, but could still run like crazy.
Yeah.
But had unbelievable strength.
Yeah.
You know, you're talking a different dynamic, strength-wise, Bo compared to Deion. You know, Bo could lift a tractor. I still love watching the highlight where Bo makes the catch playing left field and climbs the wall.
Right.
Literally
Yeah.
walks on the left field wall. Runs it.
Yeah.
Another 3-2 to Gwynn. Puts it in play into shallow center. Adam Jones trots in. 2 away. Well, the NBA career. Mark Hendrickson, 96 through 2000 in the NBA. He was getting a slam dunk while playing for the Philadelphia 76ers. Now with the Sacramento Kings. Also played in the NBA with New Jersey and Cleveland.
That's awesome.
He was a second-round pick of the 76ers in 96 out of Washington State. He is the 12th athlete to play in Major League Baseball and the NBA. Yeah, I think we have probably 3 players on the Padres that, if they really wanted to do it, might be able to play in the NBA. At least 2 at least, and maybe 3.
We've got, of course, Chris Young, Will Venable,
and I think maybe Tony Gwynn. You know, if he had kept it up.
Yeah, I was thinking more modern day, but yeah, well, Tony.
One hopper to third, and speared by Tejada.
How about Dave Whitfield?
Well, I'm just thinking present day guys on the team. But absolutely Dave Winfield, who got drafted in about every sport, including Tiddlywinks.
Big game recap on this beautiful Father's Day is brought to you by Murray Lamper Construction. Hey, do you need more space for a new guest? Visit MurrayLamper.com to see how easy and affordable a room addition or a second story can be. Mark?
Thanks, Mud. And again, a happy Father's Day from Petco Park. Top of the order in the fifth. And Patterson bunting. Can that get over to cover? He does in time. And the 3-4 put out. One pitch, one gone in the Baltimore fifth.
I love to see the action of the defenders on a play like that when a guy has speed and tries to drag one down the line. Garland's going for it. He's out of the picture because it's just bunted too hard. And then Eckstein getting the good view from second base and getting that lead step like an outfielder. First step of the ball off the bat. Well, Eck sees the hitter doing that and realizes that Adrian might be involved. The pitcher might be involved. Somebody's got to cover. He's got the sweet flip downs working today as Adrian's going.
I love those.
Traditional. Yeah, I love that.
Sweet.
That is so old school. I love that.
Do they even make those anymore? Can you buy them? I
Yeah,
guess you can.
Sure you can.
Oh, that's classic. Tejada, 0 for 2, grounded into a double play his last time. Right at the shortstop, Jerry Hairston.
Quick outs.
2 very quick outs. Well, Garland kind of navigated trouble, gave up the 4 unearned in the first, worked into the middle innings here, and starting to find his groove, it appears. He's retired 10 in a row. Right fielder Nick Markakis singled and scored in the first. Last time up, he grounded out to Eck. 0-1.
You know he's got to be taken there, huh? So Garland just throws a nice, easy 2-seamer in there for a strike. Nothing better as a pitcher when you find that arm slot, find that release point, and everything's working. And every pitch is going where you want it to go.
Garland's next pitch will be his 80th. And it's down low with the slider. Two away, bases empty in the Baltimore fifth. There There's a strike.
Come right back with the breaking ball after missing down in the zone.
Right field, high. Venable on the track in front of the Petco side. 11 in a row retired by Garland. We're at the midpoint of the 5th. Food, 18 Southern California locations, home of the Monster Burrito. And you look at the highest batting averages this month around Major League Baseball. Adrian right now 5th with a .400 average in the month of June. Put up good numbers as far as power and RBIs as well. So Adrian making a bid for National League Player of the Month. Adrian today doubled in a run in the first and grounded out to first in the 3rd inning. So we'll see if Adrian can keep up the hot hitting in the month of June. It has been a while since a Padre has won National League Player of the Month honors. In fact, the last Padre to win it, Tony Gwynn.
Really?
Back in May of 1997. It has been that long since a Padre has won National League Player of the Month awards.
Wow.
Now, Jake Peavy did win Pitcher of the Month award. Now, hitting against the ship, and how about that? It caroms into left field. It's going to be a double as Patterson picks it up. Adrian getting better and better of taking that ball right up the third base line against the shift. And that's his 2nd double of this game, 15th of the season.
That is so pretty to watch Adrian just work that magic one. Then that pitch is in. Watch him get the hands through. The angle of the bat, barrel of the bat follows the hands, stays inside it.
Fair by about 1.5 feet.
Yes. Unbelievable. Believable, but unbelievable.
All right, he keeps doing that.
What do you do with the shift?
Yeah, exactly. You can't overshift like that if he does that, can you?
That pitch was a ball, according to tracks. He good.
Dudley takes a low strike. A big bender there on the curve. I'll finish up the thought on Pitcher of the Month. Peavy won several back in 07 during the Cy Young season. But as far as Player of the Month, no Padre has won since Tony Sr. back in May of 97. But Adrian adding to his resume for this June 2010 with another extra base hit. Padres now up to a half dozen hits.
Add on.
Only single to left, driving in Eckstein in the 3rd with the 3rd Padres run of the game.
You know, it's going to be interesting. You know, we've talked about this road trip coming up.
Mm-hmm.
The humidity tour starts, but we've got this going for us. We've got the Thunderdome.
Or Tropicana Field, as it's known now. Yeah,
it used to be called the Thunderdome back in the day, which is indoor. So at least you know you're going to play, right?
Right.
But in Miami, different settings, man. That gets to you as a player. You know, we're playing in this gorgeous weather here in San Diego where it's clear and 75 degrees and the humidity is low.
Well, that's why they're putting a retractable roof on the new ballpark in Miami. They really have to have it down
Absolutely.
there. Hundley to the left side softly. Tejada looks Adrian back and throws out Nick. Hey, speaking of the next road trip, which starts on Tuesday, Latos goes against Wade Davis there in St. Petersburg on Tuesday. Have to play the Rays, certainly one of the best teams in all of baseball. Maybe a break. You know, Latos is going to throw the first game, but the way the rotation breaks down, the Padres are going to miss arguably the top two starters for Tampa Bay, Neiman and Price. Neither will pitch in the series against the Padres.
Well, Tampa Bay with a really good pitching staff as well. They lead the American League in ERA with 3.58 ERA there.
Well, still darn good, mind you, but it'll be Davis, Shields, and Garza.
Right.
It's still three tough ones that they'll throw at the Padres, but no David Price, no Neiman, who both, if I recall correctly, have ERAs in the 2s. That's left side in the hole. Adrian advancing, throws going to third, and with a slide, got in there. That proved to be the only play for his tourist, who had to go deep in the hole, ranging to his right. Of course, no force there. It had to be a tag for Tejada. And Adrian, good base running. An infield hit for Scotty Hairston. The Padres have runners at the corners with one out.
You know, that's the only play that Asturias had because his momentum was going so far towards third base. For him to catch, plant, and throw across the diamond, no chance. And the high throw works to the advantage of Adrian Gonzalez. If that ball is thrown on the bag, it's probably a different story. So once again, a break on the bad throw, the high throw, I should say. It wasn't a bad throw, a high throw from Asturias.
Runners at the corners with one out for Will Venable, who hit one out. 3-run shot his last time up. So we're on the air at 3:45 Tuesday. The Honda Dealer pregame show. Pregame show brought to you by the 9 Honda dealers of San Diego County. Check out the latest offers on a brand new Honda Civic. Latos against Davis Tuesday from Tropicana Field. Right side and through. Adrian will score. Scott down to second. RBI for Venable, who's driven in 4 today. And it's 7-4 San Diego. Williams having himself a day. He's reached base all 3 times up.
Yeah, absolutely. And with the runner on first base, Scott is holding on the runner, and he hooks it. See him go down and get that pitch and hook it to the right side, just out of the reach of Scott, out of the dive of Wigginton. Will Venable having himself a good day in the big leagues.
A walk, 2 hits, a homer, 4 RBIs. He's also stolen a base. Scored twice, 2 on for Jerry Hairston.
Remember earlier how I said how quickly things can change?
Mm-hmm.
Remember yesterday's game, as I mentioned, Will Venable striking out the last 2 at-bats yesterday. Both swinging in the 7th and the 8th in the 9th inning. 8th inning, I stand corrected. 8th inning last night. And today, a different story.
A new day. How to play right side. I've got a question for you. Playing in St. Pete on Tuesday for the 3-game series, indoors. Artificial turf, field turf. When's the last time the Padres have played a game?
Minnesota.
Artificial turf. You've been at the Metrodome in what year? I'll have to go back. It's been a while, is my point.
I did that series. I want to say something like 04 or 05. That's my guess. Because I remember doing that series.
But it has been a while. High drive, left field. Patterson retreats in front of the track and hauls it in. A bluff of a tag by the lead runner, Scott Hairston. Runners hold 2 outs.
You know, I remember that.
Why is that?
There was a matchup one day.
Because you walked into a building that looked like a mall and you played a baseball game in it?
The matchup, one of those games in that series, was left-hander Darrell May against Johan Santana, and the Padres ended up winning that game.
Never know.
That's why you play them.
Watsky is walked and grounded out to short. Strike on the outside corner. Well, with the Metrodome,
it was 2005.
Right, so it's been
Darrell May was with the Padres in 2005.
So it's been 5 years since they played a game on artificial turf. Left field, Patterson makes the catch, and that retires the side. Lined by Zawatsky. Padres do add a run at the end of 5. It's 7-4. San Diego. Independence Day weekend with your Padres. Be at Petco Park Friday, July 2nd as your Padres take on the Houston Astros at 7:05 and stay after the game for spectacular Independence Day fireworks. And don't wait to get your tickets. Do it today online, Padres.com. Park at the Park.
Oh, it's rocking, isn't it?
It is. We headed to the top of the 6th. Final game of this series. And first pitch swinging. Wiggins into third. Zawatsky making the play. One pitch. 1 out. Well, you're correct about the last time the Padres played Minnesota.
Was there one? I think there was one later.
They did play Tampa Bay in 07 in interleague. So that, I guess that technically would be the last time they played on artificial turf.
Good call.
But it's going to be different playing indoors and on turf. You know, with the Metrodome gone and Target Field now, open air, grass. You have only 2 artificial turf fields now in the majors, of course, both in the American League, in Toronto and in Tampa Bay. Strike 1 to Luke Scott.
Hey, before that last pitch to Luke Scott, which is a called strike, John Garland has gotten 5 outs on 8 pitches.
Some quick outs.
Nice adjustment from the veteran right-hander.
Scott, who's walked and scored and grounded out. 0 for 1. Hey, you remember a time when you had Riverfront, Three Rivers, all those artificial turf fields. There was a time in Major League Baseball in the 70s when almost 40% of all Major League games were on artificial turf. So now with only 2 left out of the 30 teams,
That's unbelievable. I mean,
You're down to about 7%.
Yeah, remember Candlestick Park at one time.
They even flirted with it for a while.
They had that bad turf. They had concrete slab and then AstroTurf, like minimal padding.
But Gregerson getting up in the Padre bullpen.
Well, you had St. Louis, Philly, Cincinnati, Candlestick.
You mentioned Pittsburgh?
Pittsburgh. Montreal.
There you go.
Seattle Kingdome. Tired. Houston Astrodome.
There were a bunch. Not sad to see that stuff go.
Ugh.
There are probably a lot of major league careers that have been elongated just for the fact that it's almost extinct in Major League Baseball.
How much
turf?
Hey, one guy comes to mind, Andre Dawson, playing on that turf in Montreal. How much longer could he have gone?
How much did it help him that he got to Wrigley Field and played on the grass?
Oh.
Two from Garland. His breaking ball is in the dirt.
And Luke Scott, very susceptible to that breaking ball out of the zone. And once again, with 2 strikes, nice job by Nick Hundley burying that one. If he swings and misses, that ball gets away. It's a live ball, so Nick did a fine job of blocking it.
A full count on Scott. This is the first 3-ball count for Garland since the 2nd inning. Off the end of the bat, Zawadzki, who was cheating off the line on the run, throws out Scott. And it's now 13 in a row retired by John Garland.
Oh, it's unbelievable, isn't it? I mean, we quantified the numbers, talked about the numbers first through 3 innings, and then after that, John Garland has fallen right into
that pattern.
Exactly. There it is.
That was coming in to this game. What opponents have done in the first 3 innings relative to the rest of the game against John Garland. And remarkable. If he gets past the 3rd. So if you're an opponent and you're facing John Garland, you better get him early. And the Orioles did get 4 in the first, though all 4 were unearned. Fouled away by Jones. Jones is the one who hit the ground ball to 3rd that went as an error on Zawadzki that really opened the door in that first inning.
And after seeing Zawadzki, after that error and making the throws, the ball was hidden in his glove. He had to have a bad grip on the baseball because he really tried to make up the difference and fired across the diamond in that first inning.
Because he came up with the ball cleanly and in plenty of time. Crow hopped a couple of times. Just must have been uncomfortable with the grip. That would be your guess as well?
Absolutely.
2-2. But since the 4-run Oriole first, Padres 1 in the second, or 1 in the first, 1 in the second, 4 in the third, and 1 in the fifth. Venable, a 4 RBI game, which has tied a career high for Will for RBIs in a game. 3rd time he's done that, and a fly ball out to the aforementioned William Venable. 14 in a row retired by right-hander John Garland. Brought to you by Farmers Insurance. To find a Farmers agent, call 1-800-FARMERS or visit farmers.com, because ready feels good. And on this date back in 1970, Brooks Robinson gets his 2000th career hit. It was a 3-run home run to lead the Orioles to a 5-4 win over the second version of the Washington Senators. Pitcher spot due up to lead off the Padres 6, so Aaron Cunningham batting for Garland. So John's day done after 6 innings.
You talk about rebounding nicely.
That was Super Bowl rebounding. Down low from Hendrickson. 2 balls, no strikes. Garland sets down the last 14 he faced. And allowed 4 runs, all unearned, on 4 hits. A high drive, right center field. Adam Jones still going on the warning track. Reaches out, but it gets out over the fence. Nope. Ground rule double. It did bounce and get over to the beach for a ground rule double.
You know, if that ball stays in the ballpark,
he's going to maybe circle the bases.
Potential inside the park home run. And that's what, you know, when the ball bounces off the warning track and goes over, you know, who likes the ground rule double? You want to see the ball stay in play and see some action. Once again, Aaron Cunningham, very strong, just out of the reach of Adam Jones into Cox Alley. He's strong.
He's showing, for me, surprising power, especially to that deep part of the ballpark in right center field. Now Tony bunting. Great bunt. Tejada just gets him by a step, and it advances Cunningham over to third. Wynn getting credit for the sacrifice. 5-3 on the sac bunt.
Nicely done, Anthony.
Here's David Eckstein, who's doubled and scored 1 for 3. Well, you're right about the potential for an inside the park home run. I was watching Cunningham when that ball was coming down to right center, and he was just a few steps away from second base. If it stays in, it's an easy triple.
How about a squeeze here?
Wow.
I know.
Infield in.
It would have been. It would have been.
And there's the squeeze. He tried it. It was the suicide. And in the rundown, Cunningham, being chased back towards third, is tagged out. Well, manager Mark Grant was right on top of him. But so were the Orioles, who pitched out, and Eck just couldn't make contact.
Yeah, Eck did everything right. Throwing his bat at it, trying to foul it off.
2-5-1-6. As it says Turris, who eventually tagged out Cunningham.
And you talk about tiring for a base runner. Cunningham runs out of gas right about there. Says, okay, enough is enough. Kind of slipped a little bit too, but a good effort by Aaron.
Off the end of the bat and back to the mound, and Hendrickson throws out Eck. Well, the busted suicide squeeze. The Orioles sniffed it out, and the Padres come up empty in the 6th. For locations, visit fandiego.com. For ceiling fans, go to Fan Diego. Here on this Father's Day Sunday. Oh, well, that was a young one. Looks just like a few weeks old. Luke Gregerson will take over on the mound for Garland.
And for Luke Gregerson, it'll be the bottom of the order, 7-8-9 for the right-hander. And it's worth talking about the control of Luke Gregerson. A lot of batters swinging at that slider out of the zone. He hasn't walked a guy 110 batters face without issuing a walk from the right-hander. Allowed 2 hits and 1 hit batter to his last 46 left-handed batters. 0.98 average versus lefties. This guy's unbelievable.
That streak you mentioned, the longest for a Padre reliever in franchise history. The longest such streak for any Padre pitcher. Starter Greg Maddux went 244 batters with allowing a walk back in 2007.
Those are Dennis Eckersley-like numbers.
Yeah, he was lights out when he had, more saves than walks in a few years?
Yeah. Yep, absolutely right.
Strike the Wieters. Up the first base line, foul. So the final line on Garland, 6 innings, 4 runs, all of them unearned on 4 hits with 2 walks, 3 strikeouts, and he set down the last 14 hitters that he faced. O's catcher Matt Wieters hit a 3-run double in the first. Since then, has flied to left. Outside from Luke on the 90-mile-per-hour fastball. Bottom 3 up in the Baltimore 7th. Full count.
Well, Luke Gregerson will throw that slider anytime now.
And wow, the streak ends. 110 batters. Not allowing a walk, but he issues a free pass to Wieters to begin the 7th. Switch hitting shortstop Cesar Izturis 0 for 2, and he lays down the bunt. Gregerson took a look at second and fires to first to get it out. With a 3-run lead, took the easier play.
Oh, yeah.
If this had been a tie game or maybe a 1-run game, perhaps he takes the more difficult play, but wisely chose the easier out at first.
Absolutely. You don't want to take the chance of throwing it to second base. Everybody's safe, and that's how you create a big inning. I don't care who you are, whether you're 19-49 or 49-19.
Scott Moore will pinch hit. Moore was used as a pinch hitter in the 9th inning last night and singled. And that has been his only plate appearance of this series. Moore, who's a native of Long Beach, was the top-rated high school prospect in Southern California his senior year of high school at Cypress High School in 2002. Then the Tigers took him in the first round that year, 8th overall. Wound up getting traded to the Cubs in the Kyle Farnsworth deal. Sends a high drive left center field. Back Tony in front of the track to make the catch. Staying at second is Wieters. Coming up, the San Diego Hyundai dealers' 7th inning Stretch Your Dollars. Get more MPG and the assurance of America's best warranty. Go to SanDiegoHyundaiDealers.com. Top of the order, and left fielder Corey Patterson. Big crowd here on this Father's Day Sunday of just over 28,000, 28,029. Nice Sunday crowd. 75 degrees at game time today. Hardly a cloud in the sky. Yeah. Patterson 2 for 2 with a sac bunt. It's tied up there.
There's that nasty slider. Not much you can do with that. Starts it on the inside part of the plate, and then Corey Patterson tries to abort that swing. He commits, no chance.
The strikeout of Patterson on that slider. Well, his walk streak ended, but he strands Wieters, and it's time to stretch at Petco. But they're still just $5. So many favorites like Blazing Buffalo Chicken. $5 all day, every day. Subway, eat fresh. And by Cox Advanced TV. Ready for more choices? Go to Cox.com. We look at Sunset Cliffs. And across Coronado and the Big Bay. And on this Sunday, here at Petco Park, a 7-4 Padres lead into the bottom of the 7th inning. And the third Orioles pitcher of the game is right-hander Frank Mata.
Well, the Padres trying to add on here, and it's a pretty good feeling at the ballpark at the 7th inning stretch. Mata, fastball, slider, and a change. And he's in a situation to where he's just trying to give Juan Samuel some innings. There are some guys who are closers. There are some guys who are setup guys, situational left-handers. Mata falls into the category of if we need a couple of innings to be chewed up and save our regular guys when we're having a chance to win, they're going to save those guys. So Mata maybe get an inning or two here this afternoon.
Mata, who is 26 years old, from Venezuela. It's been last year, all of last year at Double-A.
No, that's a parasol. That is not an umbrella. That's a parasol. He's shading himself from the UVs out there at the park of the park. Grab a brew. Don't cost nothing.
You normally see guys with tattoos carrying parasols.
Oh, yeah.
It's an everyday sight. Happy Father's Day from Petco as we head into the home half of the 7th. And Adrian Gonzalez leading off. Doubled in a run in the first, grounded out in the third, and doubled and scored in the fifth. So a pair of 2 base hits. Strike from Frank Mata. Low for Mata. The Orioles got pretty good work from the left-hander Hendrickson, who went 3 innings of relief and allowed 1 run. The starter Arrieta went 3 and allowed 6 runs, 5 earned in his 3rd major league start. Padres trying to hand him his first major league loss. Padres, in fact, trying to win a series from the Orioles for the first time ever. This is their 3rd interleague series. First one was back in 2002. Orioles won 2 of 3. In fact, the Padres had to win the final game of the series to avoid being swept. Padres won that last game 2-0 on a combined shutout from Brian Lawrence and Trevor Hoffman. And then in 07 here at Petco, Orioles won 2 of 3. The Padres won the first game 12-6. And they lost the last 2.
I remember that game Brian Lawrence started at Camden Yards. You know what's so significant about that?
Driven to left center. Jones, it's going to get over his head. A 1 hopper. It stays in the park, but will still be a 2 base hit for Adrian, his 3rd double of the game and 16th of the season.
That ball just seemed to carry and go, didn't it? It sounded like it was off the end of the bat, down off the sweet spot. But Adam Jones cannot catch up to that one. Well, have a day, Adrian. 3 doubles. Surprised he's still standing up. But anyway, that Brian Lawrence, he struck out the side on 9 pitches that afternoon. I forgot what inning it was.
Can't do it any better than that.
Nope.
Hundley has an RBI single today, and a fastball is up high for Mata.
Do you know it's more common to throw a no-hitter than it is to strike out the side on 9 pitches?
Well, there have been hundreds of no-hitters.
There's
only been, what now, 21 perfect games?
Yeah.
Since we've had a couple this year. Nearly 3.
So it's harder to strike out the side on 9 pitches than it is to throw a no-hitter.
Ripped to left. Hooking. Stay fair, baby. Yeah! Off the Western Metal Building, a line drive home run for Nick Hundley, his 5th. And the Padres add on here in the 7th and lead at 9-4. Hundley absolutely tattooed that ball. The only question was, would it stay fair? And it did.
Well, jolly old St. Nick giving all the dads in attendance a little gift on this Father's Day. A 2-0 pitch from Mata, and it's Hata out of here. What a good-looking swing. And you're right. He hit that ball so hard, he took the hook out of it, right? Stayed fair. Nicely done, Nick.
Well, after falling behind 4-0, the Padres with 9 unanswered runs here in this one. Nobody out in the San Diego 7th. And Scott Hairston takes up high.
Nicer kid than Nick Hundley.
I see your Nick Hundley.
Seriously.
And give you Will Venable.
I think we can keep going down the line.
Yeah, there's so many good kids and players on this team. I had an interesting conversation with the gentleman who covers the clubhouse for the Toronto Blue Jays when they were in town earlier in the week. And he came to me and said, hey, you know what? That's a base hit to left field for Scott Hairston. He said, I went into your clubhouse. And he said, mind me, Mark, because I'm used to being in the American League East where we go to Yankee Stadium in Boston. He said, over half the time when I ask to interview a player, number one, they give me a sour look and turn me down. He said, your guys are unbelievable. They're so accommodating. They're so nice. You've got a great clubhouse.
Yeah, it is. You get a great feeling every time you walk in there. It's guys like Nick Hundley, the younger kids, and then it's guys like sitting next to Nick in David Eckstein, who make it a joy to go down there and get some information and just talk baseball and have a little fun as well.
Well, Will Venable has tied a career high with 4 RBIs in this game. He got 3-on-1 swing in the third. Wave and a miss. Venable walked, stole a base, and scored in the second. Hit the 3-run homer to right in the third and singled in a run in the fifth. 1-1. Strike call. In at the knees. Bud and Nick probably going over a few more things hitter-wise for the Orioles. Try to close this game out.
Buddy is such a great communicator, you know?
Oh, no doubt. Not only with his team, but with the media. You know, they had breakfast here at the ballpark.
Right.
It was Sunday. I don't know how much time he spent out there just visiting with fans. It had to be at least a half an hour.
That's Buddy. He's a people person. He's a people guy.
He walked out to center field. People were having breakfast. And he just went from table to table. Hey, how you guys doing?
Mm-hmm.
And people are talking with the manager of the Padres, eating breakfast.
How about when, like on the road trips, we get on the bus off the plane, and the manager's spot is when you walk on the bus, he's right there at the first seat, closest to the door. He's giving everybody high fives, and he has a one-liner for everybody. He might ask you a question, or you know, hey, nice jacket you got on, or you know, I always give him the fist pump, and he comes from like the southpaw comes from, you know, New Jersey, and just hits me right on the hand every time. My fist is like just black and blue from him pummeling it, right? Eddie Barnes, the producer, will walk on the bus. Hey, Bad News Barnes, what's up?
He likes to call Eddie Barnes, of course, like moving Marvin Barnes for the old professional basketball player Marvin Barnes. Not many people remember Marvin Barnes.
Buddy does.
Bud does.
Yeah. You know what else is great? Like, I'll be on the charter and I'll walk up to say hi to the coaches, and his seat will be open now. He goes, Mud, sit down. Talk for about 45 minutes. Just talk baseball and tell stories about the old days. It's great.
Outside to Jerry Hairston.
You know, while Tom Satursky's got his earbuds in, listening to his iPod, I'm out socializing. The social butterfly on the play. I can't sit still.
You forgot the nail biting. The 1-0. Foul pass third. Hey, first place is fun on June 20th.
Absolutely it is. Winning takes care of a lot of things, doesn't it?
Who knows what's going to happen in July, August, September? Maybe even better things. But keep enjoying it right now. There's the runner on the move, the 1-1. Readers throw down to second late. Scott Hairston with his 4th stolen base.
Well, not the greatest jump, but good enough. And with Scott Hairston stealing that base, seems like the hamstring is okay. And chalk up another King Stallman stolen base. Stealing is fine in baseball, folks, but outside the ballpark, it's a no-no.
Ball and 2 strikes to Jerry Hairston, who of course has an opportunity to do you-know-what here. Pick up Abe Robillard.
Nice.
Giants didn't win today. They beat Toronto 9-6. Dodgers get underway in about an hour and a half at Fenway Park. And the Rockies were beaten by the Brewers, so good news there. High fly to center. Jones coast to his right. No tag by Scott. And an impressive throw from Adam Jones to the hot corner. 2 down.
You know what else is something I look forward to on the Charters? Is to hear Mike Tompkins, the video guy, do his impressions of other players and coaches.
Uncanny.
And the one-liners that he throws out.
He's the Rich Little.
Very funny man. Keeps everybody loose. Mikey Tompkins.
Zalotski with 2 away. 0-1.
Be nice to see Lance here get a base hit and go into the double digits in the run column for San Diego this afternoon.
Foul tipped into the glove of Wieters. Well, the Orioles do have the heart of the order still to come up, which you'll be able to see if he flips that scorecard over. So their big guy still will bat at least one more time in this 9-4 game. Rubber game of this 3-game series. And the strikeout ends the inning. But the Padres do add on with the Nick Hundley 2-run home run off the Western Metal Building. Cabot Woodstains Jim Palmer, 7 21 seasons, won 3 Cy Young Awards, pitched from 65 to 1984, and now part of the Orioles television team.
You know what, baseball fans, do me a favor. Go on the internet, go to baseballreference.com and punch in his name and look at his numbers. His career ERA was 2.87.
That'll get you in the Hall of Fame.
Never gave up a grand slam. We talked about that. Over 3,900 innings pitched, I believe. 3,800 innings pitched. Cakes Palmer.
The dynamic between him and Earl Weaver must have been incredible to watch firsthand back in the day.
Unbelievable.
Hey, Mike Adams is in this game.
He's 8th inning guy, 9-4 lead for San Diego, and off day tomorrow, so be nice for the Padres, the bullpen. We know them as being a great bullpen to try to sew this one up and have a happy off day as they travel east.
On the ground, right at Adrian. And Tejada's out 3 unassisted, 1 away in the 8th.
Hey, I heard a great story between Pat Kelly. Remember Pat Kelly and Earl Weaver? Mm-hmm. Pat Kelly was with the Baltimore Orioles.
Right.
Pat Kelly was a very religious man. Earl Weaver, on the other hand, had a chance to, throw some expletives out there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So one time Earl's just going off in the dugout, expletive after expletive here and there. Pat Kelly goes up to Earl Weaver and says, Earl, I'd really like to see you, walk with the Lord, kind of change your ways a little bit. You know what Earl Weaver said?
Tell me.
You know what, Kelly? I'd like to see you walk with the bases loaded. Turned his back and went back to managing.
First pitch strike to Nick Markakis.
It's one of my favorite Earl Weaver stories.
Hall of Famer himself, Earl Weaver. Now, Earl Weaver, Orioles under Earl Weaver won 109 games in 1969 but lost to the Miracle Mets.
Right.
Then they won 108 in 1970 and did win the World Series, beating Cincinnati. Then won 101 in 1971. A loss to the World Series to Pittsburgh. That's quite a 3-season run.
Yep.
And had 4 20-game winners on that 71 team. Unless the Orioles could really turn it around this season, they're going to experience their 13th consecutive losing season. In danger of dropping their 50th game of the season here, which, if the Padres hang on, would be San Diego's 40th win of the year.
That 40-29, if it stays this way and the Padres hang on, that's going to look really nice. 40 wins, 29 losses.
Down the left field line, but slicing foul.
Hey, just another nugget on this Padre bullpen team, and it's all a feeling thing. Padre fans, you and I, we get that good feeling when Gregerson, well, whoever it is out of the bullpen, right? Come out and do what they do. But the intensity level that these guys maintain, and that's what makes them so successful. 9-4 lead, but they're pitching like it's a 1-run lead or tied. That's the thing that I look at and get the feeling that these guys have business to take care of regardless what the score is.
Will we see Heath Bell today? Right now, a 5-run lead. He has his dad, Jim, here in attendance on this Father's Day. He's made the trip from Texas. Hey, Heater. He's still among the leaders in saves in the National League, though just kind of the way games have played out here recently, just hasn't had many save opportunities.
It's a good thing, bad thing, right? It's a good thing that the Padres are winning games, but you want to keep your closer sharp. It's keeping that razor sharp, that's for sure, keeping that beard intact.
Kakis fouls it back. And Matt Capps of Washington leading the National League with 20 saves. And Brian Wilson of the Giants 18. Then Heath at 17 saves. Strikeout of Markakis on the changeup.
See, Mike Adams is not taking anything for granted. He's pitching to the Orioles as if it's a one-run lead. He throws the off-speed pitch. Markakis way out in front of it. A beautiful pitch to get the strikeout.
Ty Wigginton 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. Strike on the high inside corner. Adams pounds the zone with a 94-mile-per-hour fastball. Off the outside corner.
How do you take that pitch? Nice biting slider from Adams.
Two outs, nobody on in the Orioles' 8th inning. He goes around and strikes out, and Mike Adams sets the side down in order. Striking out to, and a very frustrated Ty Wigginton slams the batting helmet to the ground. Padres lead it by 5 late. Guy fans, tune in tonight for an all-new show. Sam makes some of his wife Kelly's favorite foods like hummus, a shrimp salad, stuffed peppers, and a watermelon martini. It's all good and all new, and you don't want to miss any of it tonight at 5:30 and 7 p.m. only on Channel 4 San Diego. The martini must be in the shaker. Oh, look at that.
Yeah, that's good stuff from Sam, the cooking guy.
He even knows his libations. We have a new hurler. Matt Albers.
Matt Albers, 3-pitch pitcher, fastball, curve, and a slider. Mid-90s on that fastball. Kind of high on the walks. Throws both a curveball and a slider. The curveball has a bigger break to it. Slider is short and tight.
Salazar. Pinch hitting. The former Oriole Oscar Salazar. Oscar pinch hit in the ninth last night and had an RBI ground out that brought in what turned out to be the final Padre run. Three balls and a strike. The Orioles scored 4 in the top of the first, all unearned, and had the sizable early lead. With the Padres 1 in the first, 1 in the second, 4 in the third. Added 1 in the fifth and 2 in the seventh. Venables had a 4 RBI game, including a 3-run homer. Hundley has knocked in 3. He has a 2-run shot.
Well, remember that first inning, if it wasn't for that error, correct me if I'm wrong, the Orioles would have only had 1 run, correct?
Well, all the runs are unearned.
Unearned, okay.
And all 4 allowed by Garland in the 6 innings unearned.
That's right, because there were 2 outs when that error occurred.
Albers' 3-2 pitch. Towards the mound, it's speared by Albers. Runs towards first and throws out Salazar. Join your Padres as they stand up to cancer by signing the Stand Up to Cancer wall here at Petco Park. You can also purchase a Padres Stand Up to Cancer patch at the Padres store or online. 100% of your patch purchase will go directly to cancer research. Visit Padres.com/SU2C to make a donation and learn how you can stand up to cancer. Upstairs to Tony. A single, a sac bunt, a run scored. He has stolen a base. And things seem to be coming together offensively for Tony in the last couple of weeks.
Using the whole field, as we will hear his dad talk about quite a bit. Getting the hands through the zone nicely, as we hear his dad talk about quite a bit. And how quickly things can change for the better, as we talked about earlier in the game.
Rolls it to the second baseman, Wigginton. 2 gone. Another at bat for Eck in this series. 4 hits against the Orioles. 1 today, a double in the third, and a run scored. Oh, and 1. Padres have Thatcher going in the bullpen, so it looks like Joe's going to get the chance to try to finish this one off with a 5-run lead. Tap back to the hill. Padres go in order for just the second time today. Last chance for the Orioles coming up. It's 9-4 San Diego. Now open at Santee, and Vista is soon to open in a neighborhood near you. It has been a big offensive day for Will Venable, and this 3-run shot to right in the third. Put the Padres in front, his 5th of the season. 4 RBI game for William, which is tied a career high for him. And as we go to the 9th, the new Padre pitcher is left-hander Joe Thatcher.
And he'll have Scott Jones and Wieters due up for the Orioles. Good numbers for Joe Thatcher. Getting an inning of work. And once again, Heath Bell just sits and waits out in the Padre bullpen. An off day tomorrow, travel east, so rest up.
He'll be well rested when we get to the Sunshine State.
Joe's been the strikeout pitcher of late. Struck out 15 over his last 13 outings. It's over 10 innings of work. Well, 19 punch-outs in 13 and 2/3 innings of work.
Even a miss by Scott. He's 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. Padres 3 outs away from taking the rubber game of this 3-game series against the Orioles. And as Mud mentioned, the off day tomorrow. And then Latos against Wade Davis Tuesday from St. Petersburg against the Tampa Bay Rays. 3:45 Pacific time, airtime with the Honda Dealer pregame show on Tuesday. From Tropicana Field. 1-2. That strikes out the left-handed hitting Scott. It's going to bring up one more at bat for the hometown kid, Adam Jones. He really has the big hit in this series for the Orioles. His home run in the 6th last night helped win that game. 0 for 3 today. Remember, Adam Jones had the game-winning RBI with a sacrifice fly in last year's All-Star game in St. Louis. Made him the 3rd youngest player, as that's bounced up the middle and into center field for a base hit. That made him the 3rd youngest player at 23 years of age with a game-winning RBI in the 8th inning or later in an All-Star game. The other two being Ted Williams when he won an All-Star game in 1941 at 22 years of age, and Hank Blaylock in 03 at 22. Yeah. What do those 3 players have in common? Adam Jones, Ted Williams, and Hank Blaylock.
They're all left-handed. They're all from San Diego.
They're all from San Diego. How about that?
Yeah.
You got Morris High School, Hoover, and Rancho Bernardo.
That's right.
3 youngest to win All-Star games late in the game.
It's a nice nugget.
All have San Diego roots. Matt Wieters has the big hit today for the Orioles, a 3-run double in the 1st. Since the 1st inning double, he's flied out and walked. There's a strike in at the knees from Thatcher.
You know, the numbers for Thatcher are mind-boggling as well. Righty's only hitting 125 off of Joe. Lefty's at 150. Oh, that can go down because now 3 for 21 since getting Luke Scott to strike out.
But you mentioned the numbers. I mean, he's getting right-handed hitters out at a torrid pace as well.
Yep.
It's not like he's just a left-handed specialist. Yeah, that's the role he fills on many nights, but he can get a right-handed hitter out.
Sure.
Wieters fouls it off.
I just love the delivery, the unorthodox delivery, the low 3/4, low 3/4 arm angle, lowering his whole body as he throws towards home plate, throwing across his body, which throws a little deception in his delivery as well.
Trying to paint that outside corner. 3-2. That will get out of play on the first base side. Well, the Padres hang on to win this. That's going to end Garland's personal 3-game losing skid. Get him back on the winning track.
Now, how about John Garland's home ERA now after this outing today? 1.62 ERA for John Garland here at the friendly confines of Petco Park.
That's third best in the National League as far as pitchers in their home ballpark. High fly right center field. And Gwynn wants it. Tony squeezes it. And the Orioles are down to their final out. Again, the Giants won at Toronto 9-6. Dodgers get underway in about an hour. So the Giants look like they'll stay a game and a half back. Dodgers will need a win, it appears, to stay a game back. And that's to the right side. Eck diving, gets up, and ends it with that defensive gem. Eck throwing out his Turris, and the Padres, after falling behind early 4-0, rebound to win at 9-4. And San Diego takes the rubber game of the 3-game series. Well, the Padres win game number 40 on the season and send the Orioles to their 50th loss of the year. We'll come back with the totals and wrap it up from Petco Park after this.